My name is Dylan Joyce, and we're out here in the wheat field planting some double crop soybeans. We are winding down the last of the 2022 planting. It's going to be a little shaky. I apologize if you're watching this later. Glad you joined in us. I actually done a live stream in this very field last year when we was drilling the wheat. So thought we'd do another one. We're winding down on 2022 planting. We're planting double crop soybeans here, and it won't be long till maybe we can take a rest. See that we have one person in here with us. Who do we got in here with us today so far? Now there's two. We're coming down to the end. Going to turn around here. Now we got four with us. It's the butterbean farmer. He says, "What's up?" Not a lot. We're just planting a few double crop soybeans. Planting into wheat stubble. We got Greg with us and Doug. I'm just gonna go on and warn you that if I miss y'all, there's a lot going on, so I have the potential to miss some comments. Ryan says it's a hot one in West Tennessee. Yes, it is. It's actually about 10 degrees cooler today than it has been. I'll show y'all when we get down here to the end. But you can see some corn twisting up pretty good down here at the end. It's not ours, but it's our neighbors. Show y'all what it looks like. Got Bailey Farms Gaming in here with us today. Got trailing. 80 degrees in Southern Virginia and dry as a bone. Well, I'll take that 80 degrees. We're not dry here yet. We've got good moisture to plant into. I am setting the planter about 1.25 inches deep because I don't want the soybeans to run out of moisture before they get germinated and up. I think I saw Walter a while ago. He asked how wheat harvest was going. We finished up wheat harvest yesterday. We had a very good crop. Was super satisfied with my wheat. Probably the best wheat crop I've ever cut. Which y'all know we went over wheat several times. We made about 6 trips with the sprayer over the wheat. So it should have been good. Y'all probably can't tell it over there, but there's some corn over there, pretty good sized corn, and it's twisted up. I can't believe it was Greg that said it was dry where he was. I'm thankful that we got good moisture right now, but I'm trying to give y'all multiple views. Traylon said his wheat sucked in North Carolina was a dry spring. Well, we had about the opposite. We kind of had the opposite effect in our wheat here in West Tennessee. It was a little too wet on our wheat, but we pulled through and made a good wheat crop. or a good wheat crop for me. I've never been able to make the wheat that everybody else says they make. Lowest field average was 76 bushels to the acre, and the highest field average was 93 bushels to the acre. Walter wants to know if any wheat videos are coming out. You know, we normally put out videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. I will not have a video coming out tomorrow. We've been busy, hadn't been able to get any videos made. My videos all stay behind. But yes, we will have wheat cutting videos. Should have two of those. Should have two wheat cutting videos. I didn't film as much as I normally do. Might could squeeze them into 3. Yeah, most everybody in our area, there's several that still like quite a bit of wheat to get out in our area. There's still several that like quite a bit of wheat, but I figure next week a lot of people will be winding down. Out here next to the 4-lane. I got to plant that little 6-acre patch over next. But I thought I would talk to y'all while we was over here in this good square 14-acre field. This is the field that it averaged 93. It was our best field average. It was behind soybeans last year. It was behind full season soybeans. I think saw Matt Griggs with us. He says, "You lucky dog being done." Well, we ain't done yet. Oh well, we're done cutting wheat. We lack about 105 acres of soybeans. Robert is actually, he's on another farm. Robert is on another farm drilling soybeans. He's got a different variety than I do, which our variety placement kind of got screwed all to hell with replant and running 2 planters, but we're still trying to get them where they need to go the best we can. See if I can get caught up on some comments. I know y'all don't want to be that close. I thought I saw a message from Harlan. 101 degrees in southeast Alabama and getting dry. Well, luckily we're not dry yet, but if something don't happen pretty quick, it's gonna be dry. From what I can tell, about the next 14 days, it's gonna be upper 90s, and I think next week in the hundreds. So, and no real chance for rain. We had a line blow up north of us yesterday, and I've never hoped to be rained out so much in my life as I was yesterday. I was hoping to get rained out. I didn't want my wheat to get wet, but I wanted my corn to get a rain. I got to come up with a better setup for live streaming in the tractor than what I got, because holding this cell phone is kind of tiring. I believe it was Matt asking. My corn was twisting up. So far, my corn is holding on very well. I'm happy with the way it looks. We do have a little twisting down on the end rows, but overall the corn is looking really well. It's holding on really well. Now, if we keep getting this heat, I don't know how much longer it'll hold on. Somebody said their corn was starting to look like pineapples. I've seen some of that on the TikTok. People showing their corn on the TikTok, and it looking like pineapples. In a minute I may take a break and show y'all what the planting conditions look like. I'm trying to see if I missed any comments. Ryan said earlier he had to cut the water on his sweet corn. Our sweet corn is tasseling right now. One variety is tasseling. But I hadn't really been too worried about it because we've been in the wheat field and planting beans, and this is a whole lot more important than my sweet corn. But imagine Monday we're going to turn the water on our sweet corn patch, which we ain't got but a quarter of an acre, but I still want to have some good sweet corn in the freezer this winter. Kelly told Matt to pay attention to cutting their wheat. Kelly says she's planting soybeans. I'm telling you guys, I'm digging this whole running two planters deal. You get done twice as fast. But you also have twice as many things to go wrong. You got two engines running, two planters running. Hot and dry in northeast Arkansas, laying poly pipe. I bet that's a good hot job today. Not getting on my line square, y'all see that? Somebody asked about the straw. Let me see if I can pull that comment up. How tough is it to plant through all the straw? They burn theirs off to plant it. I mean, our wheat this year made a lot of straw, and but we're kind of accustomed to planting through it. I've got those row clean, which you can't see them right now because the straw is so tough, or so tall. But I've got the row cleaner set super aggressive, moving that residue out of the way, and the drill, it's got those single disc openers, and they're super sharp. And you can put lots of down pressure on that drill to cut through that straw. So we've never really had a real issue. We do up the population. You know, if you watched my previous video, I said was planting 135,000 seed per acre in the full season soybeans, and when we're over here planting 145,000 this way. Just putting a little more seed out there to hopefully combat that straw hindering the beans coming up. Doug says he's been digging taters. Got ants in some of them. I didn't know, which I mean, I guess that makes sense. Ants live in the ground, and potatoes live in the ground, so I never thought about ants liking potatoes. Kelly says she's at 140,000. And I think their planters on 19-inch rows. So their seed's not near as close together as mine. Ours is on 30-inch rows. So those beans are pretty close together. I'll give y'all a in-cab tour in a minute. But we'll stop down here since y'all are curious about the straw, and let y'all take a look at the planting conditions we have here. Robert is at planting 160,000 with that drill. I got lined up on my line pretty good. Let's idler down here. We'll go out here and look at We'll go out here and look. Alright, this is this is the straw we're dealing with. This right here ain't too bad. let's see, it's up to my, straw's up to my elbow. Here's, there's the seed trench. Let me get my knife out. See, here's the spot that has some straw. Let y'all look at these row cleaners. You see here we got these, the row cleaners there, which I hadn't moved, and it's hard to see. But they get down there and they push that straw out of the way. Here's the row cleaners, and they push the straw to the side. And then here's your double disc openers that the point of my knife is pointing at, and they're what cuts the ground and lays the seed in the ground. These are your gauge wheels that control your depth. And then here's your closing system that tucks the seed into the seed trench. Let's see how much seed we got. Yep, I figured we was getting kind of low, which is, that unit there plant's a little heavy. Yeah, no, I do not treat my, the only beans I treat is the earlier season beans, because you're planting in cool, damp conditions. You see here, ground still looks kind of wet. We got pretty good moisture, but I'm trying to get, probably shouldn't be talking to y'all, I really need to be planting beans, but trying to get these beans tucked in here before all my moisture's gone. Not seeing any beans, which it's hard to see them non-treated beans. Putting them down there a little deeper than what I normally do, because I want them to stay in moisture. Hell, it's planting them. I know it is. But so that's what I was trying to find a heavy here. We'll go look at a heavy straw area. Show you what it looks like. I'm thinking about maybe going, I've been toying with the idea of getting a 12 row 30 Kinsey with the inner plants to so that we can plant corn and soybeans with it. I've been toying with that idea. But here's the real heavy straw area, and you can see the planter moved the straw to the side and planted in bare dirt. So that's how, see, there's a really thick area right there. Try to ball up a little bit, but let y'all get a look at the old 4640. I'll try not to shake y'all too much while I walk. Let me get caught up on some messages. Traylon says he loves the sound of the 46s. Kelly Griggs said her favorite tractor's their 4440. Yep, but let's get back in here in the aero conditioning. Alright, y'all think it's hot? We played a T-ball tournament in this mess. Played a doubleheader one night. Diesel $5 a gallon, and I'm out here revving it up for y'all's amusement. Alright, howdy ho, let's go. See, y'all see that thing down there on the floor? That's my foot pedal. I push it to turn the auto steer on. That's my monitor beeping. When it starts recognizing seed, it'll shut up and come on. It always reads high on the beginning and then it levels out. So if you hear, comment what you would like to see. Might do just a little in-cab tour here of the cab on my tractor. Baling in Marion, Tennessee. Whew, hot to be baling. Traylon said Biden's gonna stop us from rolling coal. Yeah, he's an asshole. I probably shouldn't have said that on the live stream, but oh well. I got a lot more I could say about him, but I'm not gonna hold those comments. But let's see here. I want to know how they're going to do the air conditioning on these electric. How do they do the air conditioning on the electric vehicles? Because you ain't got an engine turning to turn a compressor. Josh says he wants to see a Biden flag on the 4640. You might see one of those F Biden flags on it. It's Putin's fault. Oh, it's funny to me that gas was already headed up before Putin ever went over there. Here goes Mr. Terry with a load of straw. He's baling straw. Papa said chopped with the 4650 and he loved it. Has a second now. There goes the sprayer. That's a Haggie. There's a few Haggies entering this area. You don't see many of them. I think a lot of people's kind of, deer bought Haggie and put their technology in them. And I don't think it's going too well from kind of what I've seen on TikTok. They've been having a lot of trouble with the new Haggie sprayers. So let's do a little tour of the cab here. We remodeled this cab earlier this year. Up here we just got a steel tray I can use to put stuff in. A random cable. That goes to something from that 750 to one of these monitors. This is my FM 750. It does my guidance. It's actually a Trimble unit, but it is case branded. Driving us in a straight line to the end of the field. The AccuRate, this is my hydraulic drive for my planter that controls the seed population. Say we're showing 147,000. I can reach over here, turn this down about 3 notches, and we can watch the population start going down there. Y'all see that? So we're going to turn that back up there where it belongs. I love that thing. I would never want to go back to a mechanical transmission on a planter. This is our Loop Elite planter monitor. Also doubles as our yield monitor and our combine. We have 2 of these units now, so that we can run 2 planters with them, and so that we can have one in a tractor and one in a combine come wheat cutting time. This is my easy steer motor that it turns my steering wheel and drives us to the end of the field. Like I said, down there is my foot pedal. I'll mash it on the end here and it'll disengage my steering wheel and I can turn around. Got 40 people in here with us, and I'm thankful that every one of you are joining us. If you're just joining us, hello from the wheat field. We are planting double crop soybeans in West Tennessee, and we're glad you could join us. So, moving on, that little thing is a GPS speed sensor. Y'all see a little hockey puck out there on the fender? That sends a GPS signal to the Accurate there for a speed signal. I bought that years ago. I could get speed off of something else now if I wanted to, but it's just so handy to use it, I've kept using it. This right here is the bracket for my iPad. We do not have it in here right now. This does have an SD card, and we're logging to the SD card, and we will just take the SD card and upload that information into Climate Field View. So I don't have the iPad in here with me right now, mostly just because we was using the iPad in the combine. We got a power source for cigarette lighters, so I can have all my chargers in here, have up to 3 chargers. Put my plug back in, or I'll do that when we get through. This is my hockey puck for my Climate Field View. That's what sends information to my iPad when it's in here. This is the fold box for my planter. This side is folded up, and this side is the markers. This is the on-off switch for my hydraulic drive. This right here controls my starter fertilizer, that's what that big yellow tank is, and it puts fertilizer in the row with the seed. But we are not running that right now. But that controls that. Getting to the end, I'll bring y'all back in a minute. I will say this, I have run starter fertilizer for years, ever since 2016. And I thought I was going to cut my starter fertilizer this year. And I did on some ground. We just, had our pre-plant dry fertilizer out there. But I will honestly say that I will never cut the starter fertilizer from my program again. That corn that had the starter fertilizer up underneath it looked 5 times better than the corn that did not have the starter fertilizer on it. And it may not make a bit of yield difference at the end, but to me, if you can visually see a difference, it normally, about 8 out of 10 times you see a yield difference. Moving on, this is the down pressure for my planter. This planter has airbags that controls the amount of force that it holds the units on the ground with. Right now we're running, well, it should be about 50 pounds, but about 50 pounds of air in the airbags. Actually, you can actually visually see it lift up on the toolbar a little bit. If the ground was hard, I would have to fill my fertilizer tank up for more air. But this is something I just come up with my own. There's them little gray boxes down there. In one box there's some solenoids to let air out, decrease, and to let air in, increase. And y'all can see it down there. There's a little black compressor that's electric drive compressor that supplies the air for that, and it does really good on this 8-row planter. My throttle, my gear shift. This is what's called a quad range. It's got 4 different ranges. It got 2 different power shift speeds. 1 and 2 is power shiftable, and then you clutch and move into 3, and then 3 and 4 is power shiftable. And I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, I'm coming out to the end here, so I'm going to slap it over in 1, gear down, turn off my seed, pull back on my SCV. That lever, the SCV lifts the planter. Spin around on the hand here, and then I'll watch my line. You want to say it get to green lights as close as you can before you engage it. That really helps keep it on line. Turn it back on, slap it over in here, and get going. Now I will mention that we're not running about 4.3, 4.4. I normally run 4.5 to 5. Normally run up in C range, C1 and C2. But I'm planting a little slower to give this planter time to move that straw out of the way and to cut through it. I'd rather do it a little slower the first time and do it right as have to do it a second time. So that's my thinking on that. But these are my SCV levers. This one right here, that is the hydraulic drive. That's the controls the motor for my hydraulic drive. It runs in constant all the time, constantly sending pressure. This lever right here, number 2, is my marker. This lever right here is my number 1, and it controls the lift on the planter. While it's in the ground, I run it on float, and that allows the wheels to float up and down with the contour of the ground. And then this right here, of course, is your rock shaft, your 3-point hitch right there. And that's about it. I got this new bracket. I ordered it from Shoop. I really love it. It really cleaned up the look of my cab. Before I kind of had like monitors everywhere, but this really cleaned up the look of my cab, and everything's just right here in a line, and I really like that. Okay guys, I've rambled on enough. I'm on well, I'll turn around and show you a little more, but about rambled all I'm going to ramble. I'll answer some of y'all's questions and get caught up on comments when I get turned around here. But from what I've heard, it's kind of hot all over the U.S. right now. Like I said, we're out here on the 4-lane. This farm here used to all be one piece, and this 4-lane cut it in 2. There's this farm belongs to my mother-in-law. There's 19.9 acres out here. And actually, I done a live stream from this farm last year when we was drilling the wheat. But here's the gauges, what the gauges look like. Fuel, temperature, oil pressure, voltage, and those are warnings on transmission temperature and pressure in your air filter. And then there's just your tack gauge and hour meter. This tractor has 5,585 original hours. My grandfather bought this tractor brand new, and it's very special to me. Alright, I'm getting caught up. Charlie wants to know when the new sprayer is coming with all this weight I've made. Well, I was getting pretty serious about purchasing one, but if it don't rain pretty soon, y'all can throw that idea out the window. It's gonna take us. If it don't rain, it's gonna take us wheat profit to make up the difference on what we're gonna start losing on corn and soybean yields. Which is still early in the year. We still got a long ways to go, but it does make you nervous. Let's see, I'm getting caught up on comments. Eddie said he saw us across the road from the shop yesterday, and that was at my last field. Yeah, that was the last field of wheat. Sean wants to know if we're surviving the fuel prices. Yeah, I mean, the high fuel prices hurt. On this year, but we tried to no-till as much as we can to save on fuel costs. But chemicals, seed, and fertilizer, those are our big ticket items. Don't get me wrong, I did not enjoy paying $4.92 for red dyed fuel the other day, but in the grand scheme of things, fuel's kind of the least of our worries. Butterbean farmer says Joe is putting the screws to working Americans. When he said he don't work for us, he meant that, didn't he? How did you like the 15-inch beans with the no-till drill? Well, I won't know till this fall till we see some yield, but I thought the 15-inch rows, the beans would come up a little better, but I can't tell no difference between the beans drilled on 7.5s and the 15s as far as coming up. Y'all can see planting through that heavy straw there. We'll see in the combine this fall. Main reason I wanted to go from to 15-inch row soybeans is I just wanted to save on seed cost a little bit. We've been drilling 160,000, and that's as low as I feel comfortable drilling on 7.5s. With the 15s, we cut back to 140, and I feel pretty comfortable with that. You know, the beans are fairly close together, and they help each other push out. So there's things I like about it and things I don't. As far as emergence, the beans we drilled on 30s with the planter, they actually look a little better. They come up faster. Kind of the reason I'm thinking about maybe a 1223 Kinsey planter. I'd like to get on up in the newer 3000 series planters, but I was looking on Tractor House, and the old 2600 planters are probably more in my budget. Which, I mean, I believe the two most important pieces of equipment on the farm are your planter and your sprayer. And both of mine need updated, something terrible. Y'all excuse me a minute, I'm gonna get a little sip. I'm getting a little parched. There's some heavy straw. Kelly, are you still with us? I want to know why you tore the planter up the other day. I got a video of you tearing the planter up. Alright, I'm catching up on my chats. Got Mark with us from France. Well, hello, neighbor. Glad you could join us. It does occasionally want to ball up from time to time, but for the most part, it does really good. If you had one of the newer style John Deere planters with the 15s, I know they're staggered, but they're really close together. I don't see how you would plant through that without them balling up. So, got 45 people with us, and I'm glad you're joining us. let y'all look at my ugly self for a little while. Probably get tired of looking at the same thing. We might be able to see his corn twisting up here when we get up here, but we got about let me look at my status. We lack about 2.5 acres in this field, so everybody get your questions in, because when I wind this field up, I'm going to wind the live stream up. But this field next to us, it does have pivot irrigation, so they got the option to water their corn. I wish we had some pivot irrigation. That would take a lot of risk out of the equation as far as moisture. And we could really push those corn yields too. I mean, if you know you're going to get the moisture out there, that makes you a whole lot more willing to put all the nutrients and stuff out there that it takes to make high yield corn, if you know you can control that variable of moisture. See, I think I saw a comment pop up. Surprised nobody's asked where Corn Dog is. Corn Dog is at the lake. That sorry bunch of mine left me here working on Father's Day weekend to go to the lake. Sorry bunch I live with, let me tell you. Thought this was supposed to be a family farm. Alright, it says, do you have any trouble getting a canopy planting 30-inch beans this late? Normally we do not, because normally we have plenty of moisture in West Tennessee. I might be screwing up planting 30s this year, but hell, I've cut 20 bushel beans on 7.5s, and I've cut 20 bushel beans on 30s, so it's all about what falls from the sky on them soybeans. It's them August rains on them soybeans, whether or not we make good soybeans or not. Like I said, I've made crappy beans on about every row spacing there is, and I've made good beans on about every row spacing there is. It's all what the good Lord decides to bless you with that year. Here's another thing that was not on my cab tour. This is my two-way radio. Y'all want to check in on Robert and see how he's doing? Robert, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just checking in, see how you doing.
I like a little bit behind the earth for it.
Robert said he's over on that other farm, said he's finishing the front field, so that means he's gotten 16 acres planted over there. There's 35 total on that farm, so we may finish about the same time. We're going to meet on the big 50-acre farm. We're going to meet on the big 50-acre farm in front of the shop and run them both. So, good possibility we could get done tonight if everything holds together. The sun ain't been set until 9. I don't like to run too late. I don't like to run too late in the night with this wheat straw, especially with the drill, because that straw gets tough and it makes it harder to cut through. And you do not want to hairpin that straw. You don't want to hairpin that straw, which means push the straw down in your seed trench, because you can lay your bean on top of that straw, and then as that straw dries, it'll pop back out of that seed trench and flick your bean out of the seed trench. I think I got a question from one of the Lampleys. Lampley Brothers Farming says, got Alex with us. Said, what kind of population are we putting on our 30s? on these double crop soybeans, I'm planting 145,000 on 30s. Our full season soybeans, we was running 135,000, and I may need to be up around 150, but we're getting them in the ground and got good moisture and everything looks good, so I'm just gonna stick with 145,000. Yeah, let me change the camera here. Got Johnny Holland from Georgia, Middle Georgia. How close are you to Atlanta? I'm ready to go to Atlanta and see a ball game. That's one of my favorite things to do in the summer. My dad and my brother and me, we all go down to Atlanta and spend about 2 days in Atlanta, eat some good food, and watch the Braves play. It's one of my favorite things to do. Alex, y'all putting them to him, son. Y'all got them deep pockets. I can't afford that many beans. But hey, man, I kind of think that the later in the year you get, the better off you are to put a few more beans out. We're on the 15-inch row beans. We're planting with the drill. We're planting 160,000 with the drill on 15-inch rows. But I imagine that 185,000 gets expensive on seed cost. Y'all can see there's a good example. Y'all see how matted down that straw was? Oh, I'm fixing to make a mess. There it goes, it's pushing. It ain't been doing that. It had to do that for a live stream. Dang it. Gonna have to stop. I would make a mess in a live stream. I should have slowed down, is what I should have done, but up here running my dang mouth instead of planting. Maybe it's gonna feather out here. Everybody's sending me Snapchats and calling me. We just won't look back there. Better luck with high populations on wheat. It's fluffing out back there. It's feathering through, but I still ain't gonna show y'all. I don't like to show making a mess on the YouTube. That weight right there where I'm running here, y'all see how thick that straw is? It wasn't doing nothing but flat making the weight through there now, like 114, 115 bushel. That's where the way it works out, even though we have section control on the sprayer, there's a little section there that gets quite a bit of overlap, so that's what happened there. But it made dang good weight. Are y'all still with me? Cause I lost y'all for a minute. But anybody got any questions? We're getting down to the end of the field, and when we get to the end of the field, that's gonna be the end of the live stream. Got this planter don't normally do that on the balling up. It's got to be short enough bad like that to do that. That's right, Dylan. Drag it out there to the end of the road where everybody can see. Right out on the 4 lane. One thing ain't helping though is you see that's like 50 pound of air, but that's like, I can't remember. I think it's like 150 pound of downforce on them roads, maybe more than that. So which I wanted that much down there, so I'm hold them road cleaners down there and move that straw to the side. How did y'all's week turn out, Alex? And y'all have a good week crop? Are you done? Anybody else that if anybody else in here that farms, let me know how your wheat done. I'm curious to know how wheat done over the country. I did. If I had a crystal ball and looked back, I would have done a better job of marketing my grain. I do know that. Got too aggressive early on. Did sell some high weight. Did good on my uncontracted bushel. Was getting $10 for it across scales. Weight went down on Friday and they widened the basis out, so we had we're at I think they're like at 903 across the scales. I told them to just hold my weight. I don't know if I'm going to try to store it, wait for the basis to tighten up and sell it, or if the market would go back up Monday, I'd probably sell it. See here, Lampley says 60 to 70 an acre. Not too bad if it wasn't for the wet spots. Yeah, the wet spots is what always, I'm relaxing if y'all can't tell. These old, I'm a short feller, but these old Soundguard calves don't have the best, there's that much room. Yeah, the wets, as I was saying, those wet spots is a killer of yield for us here in West Tennessee. Or at least it is for me. I got a lot of hill ground that's really good for wheat, but they run down in flats and that have wet holes in it. And I hate to not plant a whole field in one crop. At least that mess is on the back side of a field where nobody can see it, but here I am putting it on YouTube. I need to think up a way to round bale that straw and set it over here on the edge of the field, and then in the fall have some kind of shredder to shred them round bales up and distribute it back over the entire field. That would be like the ideal situation there. You'd have good cover for fall, but you wouldn't have to plant through the wheat straw in the spring here. But really happy. I'm really happy with my wheat. It was really a little better than I thought it was. Some people's had really good wheat here in West Tennessee. Some people's has been off. It's been on a case-by-case scenario. We made better wheat than we made last year. This was the best wheat we could. It made 93 bushel to the acre. And the worst wheat we cut was on a wet farm, and it made 76 bushels an acre. So I figure we're going to end up on yield in the mid 80s. Last year we was in the low 80s on yield, which everybody, there's a lot of people that had real high averages last year. I'm always the oddball. If everybody else is making good, I'm making bad, and if everybody else is making bad, I'm making good. I don't know how to explain it on wheat. Somebody said they had some hail damage on some wheat in northeast Arkansas. Man, there was a time or two now made me nervous. We had some pretty big storms with wind, and the hail was, there was the potential for hail, and I was going to be sick if we lost a good wheat crop to hail. Really, but I'm really thankful for a good wheat crop and a good price on it. You don't normally get both of them at the same time. I need to sell some wheat for next year. City of Rutherford's not maintaining their sign very good. If y'all can see there, that says, "See the last home of Davy Crockett, shop, eat, and play in Rutherford, Tennessee." This is Rutherford, Tennessee, the last home of Davy Crockett. Because you know how proud everybody in Tennessee is of Davy Crockett. up there around the Lampley brothers, they got the old Davy Crockett State Park. And we like to go camping up there at Davy Crockett State Park or around Lawrenceburg. We try to go once a year. Try to get a camping spot down by the creek. I get my. Normally it's up enough you can float it. Some years it ain't, but like to get me a float and float down that little creek and get me a beverage in an unmarked cup and sip on my beverage down that creek. But it's not a very long stretch. You got to get out at the end and walk back up the campground and get in again. But about four times down the creek and sipping on your beverage, that's good enough. It's gonna be the last pass in this field, folks. I done planted next to the fence row. I planted my way up here and planted the end rows, and then started over there on the far edge of the field and came this way. Darn put bird crapped on my winder. Alex, was it y'all that I watched that sometimes double backs with their it doubles back with their 30-inch row planter and double plants them on an angle or something like that? A tube floating place. We will have to check that out. Alex, if we come up there this summer, we may have to stop by and see y'all, you and Jesse. Say hello for a little while. Maybe do a crossover video. Get y'all some more subscribers, hopefully. Y'all think, do you think the doing them on the checkerboards, you think that makes any difference on yield, or do you think they make just as do they make just as good on 30s as they do when y'all checkerboard them? All right, we're coming out here to the end of the field. We're done. I'm gonna take my motor out of gear there and let it cool down, turn off all them alarms. Then we'll have to change fields on my, we'll change fields here on my display. Well, maybe I didn't shake y'all too much during this whole live stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not gonna have a video out tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday I'll have the first week cutting video out, but we just been hammering, guys, and I didn't really want to stay up midnight every night working on y'all videos, so. But they will be coming soon. We didn't film as much cut and weight as we normally do, but hey man, we should have 2 good videos. Let's go for quality, not quantity. And but we should have 2 good videos, I think. And probably 1 good video of us planting double crops. That's kind of the reason I put this live stream out here today, because I knew we wasn't gonna have a video out tomorrow. And when I do live streams from the field, they seem to everybody seems to really enjoy them, so I thought I would do that. Let's see. Do it for the deer pressure. Christopher Hargrove. Hey man, you caught us on the tail end here. We're about done. Y'all may see something interesting over here. Y'all see that pile down there at the end of the field? I'm gonna drop the planter down in it and see if I can't smooth it out. See if we make a bigger mess or we break it apart some. I'm gonna straddle it with the tractor and let it down. Got 6. It used to be 5.5, and we pushed the pond in, but there's 6 acres across the road there. I got to plant, and we'll be headed back to the shop to the last 50. Fix, I have to see what happens, see if it smooths it out or if it pushes it. Raise it up, feather it some. Come on, work through her, work through her, work through her. There we go. It ain't perfect, but it's better than it was. We'll hit it 1 more time. Y'all can see me make a mess, because why not? If you ain't making a mess, are you really farming? Sure, yeah. It's kind of like at TikTok. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. Well, alright guys, I'm gonna fold up here and cross the road. Oh, let me show y'all the corn twisting up. This is kind of an example of what the corn looks like in West Tennessee right now. Twisting up a little bit on the end row, but out in the field it looks pretty good. So that's a kind of example of what the corn is looking like in West Tennessee right now. We're all right, but if we don't get a rain within a week, we're really going to start hurting. But thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate it. Never dreamed we would have got 50 people on the live stream today, but really enjoyed talking to y'all while we're planting, and I've had a good time, and we'll have week cutting videos out pretty soon. And me and Robert, when we get the crop kind of laid by, we may try to do a joint live stream. Y'all get to hear from me quite a bit, but y'all don't. A lot of people like to really hear stuff from Robert. We'll try to have a joint live stream in the shop one day and let y'all hear from Robert and get his take on things. So y'all be good, and we'll see you later. And hey, be sure to subscribe if you ain't. Give us a old thumbs up there. It helps us out. I ain't harped on that in a while, but it really helps our channel out when you like our stuff and you comment and all that good stuff. So thank y'all, and we will see y'all later.